Okay, let's work through this test. First, if you don't know how to bisect a line segment, stop watching this video, go back to lesson 4.2 and watch the video about bisecting a line segment, because I'm not going to explain it in detail here. So, we need to do two things. We need to find 3 halves of AB, so in other words, 1.5 AB, and then a line segment with that is 1/4 as long as CD. So we need to make AB longer. We need to cut CD down. So the way we find 3 halves of AB, or at least the way we create that length, is by first figuring out what half of AB is. So I know how long 1 times AB is. I need to figure out how long half of AB is so that I can add those together. Never forget your straight edge. Okay, so let's see. Alright, so that should be my halfway points. Now, from those segments I can build 1.5 AB. That's fine. Let me find 1/4 of CD. So to find 1/4 of CD, first I'm going to cut CD in half, then I'm going to cut it in half again. So let's cut CD in half. There. So now I have a segment, actually 2 segments that are half as long as CD. I want to get a segment that is 1/4 as long as CD. So I'm going to cut half of it in half. Okay, so by bisecting just this part of the line segment, I make a line segment that is 1/4 as long as CD. Okay, so right here, this line segment is 1/4 of CD. I have AB. This line segment right here is 1/2 of AB. And so first I'm going to make 1.5 AB. So to copy a line segment, I'm just going to start with a line. And I want to call this ZQ, so I'm going to name my first point Z. So here's what I'm going to do. To get 1.5 AB, first I'm going to copy the length of AB itself. Okay. So there's the length of AB. So that's 1 AB. I want another half. So I'm going to copy the length of half AB. And copy that onto the end of this line segment down here. So this is half of AB. Okay. So in other words, from here to here is 1.5 AB, or 3/2 AB. And now I want to add on this length, a length that is 1/4 of CD. Right there. I'm going to add it onto the end. I want to make sure that I actually showed these lines so that whoever's grading my test knows what I did. So there's 1.5 AB, there's 1/4 of CD, so that should be the end of my line segment. So ZQ has a length that is equal to 1.5 AB plus 1/4 of CD. Okay, let's try number 2. If you don't know how to bisect an angle, stop watching this video, go back to lesson 4.2, and watch the video about bisecting an angle. Now, I'm going to start with a straight angle, which of course means 180 degrees. So in other words, a straight line. And I'm going to name my angle MAS, which means A would be the vertex. So let's just say my vertex is right here. I'm just going to pick a point to be my vertex for my straight angle. Now, the first step in bisecting an angle is drawing this arc that goes all the way across it. Because it's a 180 degree angle, it's got to go all the way around from side to side. And now I take those two intersections, and from each of those intersections, I'm going to draw an arc wherever those two arcs would cross, which is going to be up here in this case. Now I connect those. And this line segment right here bisects that straight angle, or in other words, this is 90 degrees. So now I'm going to make sure I name it correctly. So angle M, A, I'll put the S somewhere up here. Angle MAS. This time we're going to quadrisect the straight angle. So let's start with the straight angle. And again, I want A to be my vertex. I'm just going to pick a point A, use that as the vertex. So first I'm going to cut this angle in half. And quadrisect it means I want to cut it into fourths, like quadrilateral, 4 parts. So again, I'm going to cut it in half first, the same way we did on the last one. Okay, so there's my arc. Now, poke out the Cyclops' eye. There. I cut my angle in half. Now I need to cut half of it in half. Now, I could draw a new arc to do the bisecting, or I can just use this arc that I already have, which already crosses half of angle NAR. So I'm going to do that. So from this intersection, I'm going to draw an arc out there. From this intersection, an arc out there. Wherever they would cross, that's where I need to draw them. And connect that. Oops, I missed. Let me try that again. Okay, following the straight edge. So through that point where they intersected. I don't know if you can see it anymore. There we go. Through that point. So I cut the straight angle in half. That would be 90 degrees. Now I cut that in half again. That would be 45 degrees. So this is 1/4 of the 180 degrees, or in other words, 45 degrees. And I want to call that angle NAR. So I'll put the N here, the A there, and let's say the R right there. There's angle NAR.